Hello guys. Ooh, oh, this light is so hot. Is that better? Hello. I'm really going rogue with my lighting and everything set up because I wanted to try and get some of my cool queer art in the shop, but my office is really small. So it's been hard to figure this out. So spent a long time working on this setup. You can tell because I'm already dewy. Let me turn this down a little bit, see if that helps. Anyways, hello, happy Pride. It's June. I thought I would come at you guys with some Pride recommendations. These are a mixture of recommendations from me and from my girlfriend. I feel like I've just been like reading so many good gay books recently. I think I'm gonna call this one like feel good Pride recommendations, and I had to cut out a lot of sad ones. I tried to put the 5th season on the list and my girlfriend was like, no. But you are gonna see some darker material in here. If you like fantasy sci-fi and then also YA kids lit cartoons, there's gonna be a lot here for you. If you like serious contemporary fiction or sad gay books, then there won't be a ton for you today, but you can watch anyways. Or send this to a friend of yours who likes a joyous gay reading material. I am so sweaty already. All right, if you can hear some, that is my pigs, which are right beside me. They don't really respect my shooting hours, which is unfortunate. I would expect more respect from creatures who I care for so tenderly, but no. Instead they just eat and take cute little naps. We're gonna get started with the first book that I read that kind of got me back into reading during quarantine. Gideon's home. Alright, well, I did also just reveal that my guinea pig is named after the main character, and I was about to call him homophobic for drinking water while I'm trying to talk about this. Yeah, you be ashamed. So I did kind of just give it away, but the first book is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I have a cover redesign video on my channel. It is one of my worst performing videos, so if you like this book and you want to watch me make a little cover for it, you can go check that out. This book is so good, and it is a sad book. There's a lot of dark material in it, but I did keep it in this list, partly because I feel like as a book, it brought me so much more joy than grief, and it kind of has murder mystery vibes, and also a lot of magic and necromancy and space also. So this book is great for so many reasons. It's so funny. If you like hard sci-fi, and even if you don't like hard sci-fi, if you love a funny narrator, if you love kind of casual gayness, a universe with no homophobia in it, which I'm a fan of, a universe with no homophobia. I'm not a fan of homophobia, except for when I do it. Then you are going to love this book. There's necromancy, lots of bones, lots of gay shit, lots of wives. This book is chock-a-block full of wives. If you are not into body horror, it might not be the book for you. And if you are not into any kind of like dark, dramatic storyline, it's not for you. I think it gets away with it for me because it's so campy and so far away from real life, but it is still very sad. There's a lot of death and a lot of grief in it. The next book I just finished reading is The Midnight Lie. The Midnight Lie is a story about this girl named Miriam. She lives in the lowest quarter of this island city. Basically, you can get arrested for anything if you're in the lowest caste, and then they take a tithe from you, so they take some part of your body, and that could be blood or hair or an eye. It could be anything. So she gets arrested and she is sentenced to a blood tithe, and while in jail, she meets Sid, a rakish traveler. Very hot. This book does have some fantasy homophobia in it, but because of the way the class system is set up, it's one of many problems. Like, you're not allowed to be gay in the same way you're not allowed to wear your hair up in certain styles. So it's definitely not steeped in the kind of like trauma and tragedy of a lot of magical homophobia stuff because there are much bigger fish to fry. It's very good, a gay fairy tale for the ages, especially if you want something lighter, quicker read. This one's really easy to get into. The next book is a fucking tome, and I'm sorry for this. I wouldn't recommend it if it wasn't worth it. Priory of the Orange Tree. I felt reading this book what I assume straight men felt when they read Game of Thrones for the first time. Epic fantasy, very long, so I would say you want to read this when you're kind of like, yeah, I just want to dive into something. I want to read the same thing for a while, really get into the characters and everything. Priory is great for that. I have a really short attention span and I have a lot of trouble continuing on in books. And this book was 800 pages and pretty much kept my attention the whole time. Somehow the mixture of queer characters and dragons and magic and potential apocalypse kept the ADHD at bay in a way that I really appreciate. So it's a multiple point of view story. Essentially you have this world or kind of this country where the West and the East are divided and we don't 100% know why in the beginning. The West hate dragons. The East worship dragons. It's a very religious divide as well. You get points of view from a dragon rider, an assassin who is in disguise as the queen's handmaiden, an alchemist who got banned from that kingdom because he wouldn't create or couldn't create a potion of eternal life. I feel like if you've heard this description, you're gonna know if you're interested in this book or not. If you're interested in it, I definitely think it's worth it. There's so much beautiful imagery in this book. There's no fantasy homophobia, which again, we love. If you're gonna make a fantasy world, why is it homophobic? If you like epic fantasy and want it to be gayer. The next book I don't have with me, and this one's a recommendation from my girlfriend, and she listened to the audiobook, so that's why I don't have it. This book is called She Drives Me Crazy, and this is a YA jock for jock pretend dating to dating romance, and it's just a very fun read. It's very sweet. It just has all the trappings of what you want in like a rom-com. Yeah, I think it has a lot of messy gays in it, which is fun, but like messy in a teen way. Very fun if you like more contemporary YA, contemporary romance, anything like that. And then the last one I'm actually currently reading, so it's possible that in the next 100 pages I will end up not liking it. But this is The House on the Cerulean Sea, and I didn't even realize that this was a queer book when I picked it up. I saw one of Carrie Hope Fletcher's reading vlogs, and she read this book. Did not say anything about what it was about, but I saw the cover and I was like, yes. I described it to my friend today as Good Omens meets Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but make it a feel-good love story. It's about a social worker who checks up on these orphanages that have a lot of magical children in them. If you are magical, you have to get registered. It's very much like a prejudice system. And I am not usually a fan of like fantasy racism, but I think this is much more a story about overcoming and recognizing prejudice in the world rather than trying to be an allegory for any individual prejudice in our world. And the main character is gay, and I love him, and his love interest I described to my girlfriend as the dad from Coraline, but hot is how I'm picturing him. So nice. It's so sweet. It's so fun. If you like Terry Pratchett, if you like any like dry humor mixed with magical stuff, and also a gay love story, and also found family, it's a great book for you. It's so sweet. I love reading it. I'm sad that it's almost over. There are scenes that I think are too long, but I'm like, but I don't even care because it means I have more of this book to read. So the first one is a gay story. It is, I don't know if I would say it's a feel-good story. I felt good after reading it, and I feel like it's one of those stories where there's sad stuff that happens in it. By the end, you feel like there's been a very satisfying kind of character arc. So this book is Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. Absolutely stunning. Feels really cinematic. It's a great example of a graphic novel that uses the form of the graphic novel to the fullest extent. So we have Freddie Riley, and she is in love with her on-again, off-again girlfriend, Laura Dean, and Laura Dean keeps cheating on her. And this story is about her resolving her feelings about Laura Dean and being cheated on and ending a relationship, and all of that, and it's great. And I recommend it. And then we have one that deals with gender in a very fun way. And this is, I would say, like a YA, I don't think it's middle grade, but I feel like you could definitely give it to a middle grade reader. So this is The Prince and the Dressmaker. This book is so cute. It deals with gender in a way that is very much fun, and gender performance is like part of life. There isn't really an active attempt to label and like what's going on, but basically we have this prince who loves to go to balls as this woman. So he wears a wig and a lot of beautiful dresses, and then he gets a new dressmaker who makes dresses for this persona. I just think it's a great option especially if you want to give a gift to a young kid who's kind of like thinking about gender in new ways, or it's a really great way of celebrating gender, I guess, or like aspects of gender performance. And it's just a very sweet, nice little fairy tale.
Hi, I'm Sasha. I'm Victoria's girlfriend, and I'm here to talk about some books that I've read and that Victoria hasn't. Beetle and the Hollowbones. Extremely cute. It is about a 12-year-old goblin witch named Beetle and her best friend Blob Ghost, who lives in the local mall. Her ex-best friend Cat, who's a little cat skeleton witch, comes back from her time away, and they have a very sort of complicated relationship where like they used to be friends and write fan fiction together. Oh, but now Cat is cool and is learning magic. And it's just about their complicated relationship, and it's gay.
I feel like that's such a universal queer experience.
Yes. 10 out of 10. So cute, so colorful, makes you feel, it's just, it's a heartwarming little story. My next book is The Magic Fish. It is another graphic novel with beautiful, beautiful art. And I would say it's kind of an all-ages book, though it's probably meant for, again, like a middle school to high school audience. Telling a couple different versions of, like, the Cinderella story, but at the same time it's paralleling... meow! But at the same time it's paralleling this story of this boy and his mother. And it's a very powerful book. It's a very sweet little book. And like the line art is just beautiful, 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 beautiful. Gorgeous! Oh.
So now on to movies and TV. So for movies and TV, there are a lot of movies I got rid of because they were sad. And there are a lot of gay movies I love that are not on this list. So let me know if you want a feel bad queer content list, and I got plenty for you. So the first movie on this list is Booksmart. I feel like a lot of people saw Booksmart. It's a really great movie. It's very fun. You have these two girls. One is played by Beanie Feldstein, and basically they spend their whole high school careers studying and not partying because they say, well, no, we want to succeed. We don't need to party. We're gonna party in college. And then at the end of their high school career, Beanie Feldstein's character realizes that the popular kids who were partying also studied and also got into really good schools. And she's like, I wasted my whole high school career. And so they decide they just want to go to one good big high school party. And that's what this movie is about. There are two main characters, and the one who's not Beanie Feldstein is gay and has been out for a while, and it details her thinking about her crush and hoping her crush is going to be at the party. And it's very sweet, and it's a great example of a movie that is not about being gay, but is a fun movie, and gayness is a natural part of it. Most movies about being gay are sad. They're sad movies. And this movie is just very joyous. It's just nice to be able to watch a fun movie that is of a genre and have queerness just be a part of the world in it. It just feels very natural, because it's like we were all in high school and many of us are gay, and so it feels more authentic to the experience of being in high school and feeling kind of different ways about it. The next one is not about queerness at all, and I will say it isn't until the very end of the movie that this is confirmed as canon, but this movie is The Mitchells versus the Machines, and this is a family story of this family who are escaping the robot apocalypse. A bunch of robots come in to take over the world because they're getting treated bad, and this one family escapes, and so they're going and they're saving the world. It is so freaking good. One of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. One of the best movies I've seen in a long time as well. It's just so fun. It's nice. It deals with a lot of surveillance capitalist stuff, which I love. I'm 90% of the way through the book, The Age of Surveillance Capitalism, and I will be making a video on that in the future. There are a lot of casual references to the way that we deal with technology now. There is an incredible family dynamic that I love. It made me cry a lot. Yeah, and the main character is confirmed to be gay at the very end. So again, not at all a movie about being gay, but a movie that feels great to watch. It's a very fun movie to watch. And a part of that is the experience of watching this whole movie and then having this girl who'd been watching this whole time be confirmed as gay, and her family just being like, oh, are you bringing your girlfriend home? And I feel like some people would be like, oh, it's just tokenism, but I just like it. I want to be able to watch a fun movie and just have it be casually dropped that the main character is gay. But also, if we're being real, you look at her and she's gay, and she's wearing a rainbow pin the whole time. And these are things that normally writers will do to flag that a character is gay without actually saying it, but they do say it. I like it. I understand if it doesn't quite qualify for you, but it made me feel good, and I liked that there was just this kids movie that had being gay as a part of the world. So now we're gonna talk TV. The first one is kind of a wild card, very different from my other choices, and that is Are You the One Season 8. The conceit of Are You the One? There are normally 10 men and 10 women, and they are put into an algorithm. They switch between saying an algorithm and matchmakers off and on, basically. But they put them through an algorithm, if we're being real. And they have to figure out, once they're put in this house, who is your perfect match based on this algorithm. We've figured it out, they're in this house. And this season 8 upped the ante by saying there's actually 16 people in this house. I think 7 of them were men, 7 were women, and 2 were non-binary. And everyone in this house is attracted to every gender. So anyone could be your perfect match. And it's so good. And I don't know how any reality TV show is gonna try and compete with this now. I don't know if they're gonna make more seasons of this. I really hope so. I would do a whole video about Are You the One? Either if anyone asks for it or if a new season comes out. If either of those things happen, get ready. Lots of messiness in that show, lots of drama, and it's just a very fun show. It's nice to be able to watch some reality TV and just check out, but everyone on the show is gay. It feels nice, it feels more, I'm a lot more invested in that show than any other season of reality TV I've ever seen. I don't even know if there are seasons of Project Runway I like more, but there might be some that are tied. So the next one is City of Ghosts. I don't remember exactly how much queer content is in this show. This is an absolutely stunning Netflix series. The backgrounds are all photos mixed with drawing, and then the characters are animated on top of it. It's so beautiful. If you've seen any of my illustration work, you know I love ghosts, and I illustrate ghosts really similarly to how this show does, so that was a point for it. But also one of the main kids is non-binary, and I think there are a couple of other references to things too, so it's another great example of a show that is not about queerness, but is very much there showing kids queer people exist, and it's normal, and it's just part of life. This show is kind of a stretch, I will admit, but I absolutely love this show. It's so beautiful, and I want to recommend it anyways. And I've just never seen a kid on TV be like, my pronouns are they, them, and I loved it. And it's very fun. Watch it. And then we have, God, I feel like these are the most basic bitch gay recommendations. Surprising no one, She-Ra. You should watch it. I'm rewatching it now, and it's really good. I watched it as it was coming out, and I actually didn't love the middle 2 or 3 seasons the first time I was watching it, because I was like, I don't know where this is going. It doesn't feel like it's gonna pay off. But now that I've seen the end, and I know how it ends, but I love it a lot more on my second watch through. And I also think from people I've talked to who watched it all at once instead of waiting for the seasons to come out, the pacing is just much better when consumed that way than consumed kind of like every 6 months. We're getting 6 episodes. So She-Ra is great. You have many different kinds of queer characters. Again, no fantasy homophobia. You have a non-binary character, and you have a lot of gay characters, a lot of women loving women on that show. Also, one of the main characters has 2 dads. It's just a very gay show. I feel like if you're watching this video, you probably know and have seen it. But if you haven't, and you've just been like, oh, I just don't know if I'll like it, watch She-Ra. It's good. Another very basic bitch answer, but another one that I feel like I know a lot of people who just say like, oh, I've heard so many good things about that, but I never watched it, Steven Universe. And I feel like I'm like, this is such a late recommendation. The show ended like 2 years ago. It is good, and it's very gay, and if you never got into it, this is just a reminder to get into it, because it's very good. It's great show. The Owl House. So The Owl House is worked on by Alex Hirsch, our favorite creator of Gravity Falls. It's just a very cute show about a girl who comes from our world and goes into this magical world and starts apprenticing to be a witch. There's an episode that's in a witch high school, which is amazing. It's a very sweet show. The main character goes on a date with another woman at one point, and Alex Hirsch has talked about how he wanted Gravity Falls to have a lot more queerness in it, but it was not allowed by the network, so it's cool to see that now showing up in Owl House. That's all I have. That's all of my recommendations. Again, I have a lot more, but these are my kind of like nice, fun recommendations, my feel-good, bright, happy Pride recommendations versus my A24 recommendations. What? Me? A film degree? Never. I hope you enjoyed. Happy Pride. If you want more recommendations from me, please let me know. I'm reading gay books all the time, and hopefully I'll find more nice ones that are not sad. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye!